All right. Hello and welcome to the 7th Annual King Talks. My name is Chloe Luyette, and for the next 24 hours at least, until my defense, I am a Ph.D. candidate in the Department of Chemical Engineering. I am also one of the speech coaches for our 7 speakers tonight. Our other coach, Aya Waller-Bay, couldn't be here with us in person today, so it's my pleasure to be your host for this evening. This year, the theme of the King Talks event is the 21st Century Struggle, Transforming the Jangling Discords of Our Nation into a Beautiful Symphony, which is a line taken directly from MLK's I Have a Dream speech. And so this is for you, Paul, wherever you are. 7 speakers, 1 theme, 1 night. And on this night, our first speaker of the evening is the lovely Gabby Young. She is a Ph.D. in health behavior and health education in the School of Public Health. In her talk titled The Rhythm of Change, she explores hunger as a pressing yet solvable problem in the United States. Gabby believes that through intentional planning and collective action, the basic human right of access to food can be met. In her talk, she is going to walk us through how we can weave the jangling discords regarding food insecurity into the beautiful song of a fed nation. And some interesting facts about Gabby is that she ran the Disney Princess Half Marathon last year with her sister as Anna and Elsa. And she also listens to audiobooks on 2.5 speed. Please join me in welcoming Gabby.
It was put forth by those who founded this country that we were allotted certain inalienable rights. Food, the very life-giving substance that is abundantly wasted each year, is one of those rights. Yet millions go without it daily. In the US, there are approximately 49 million people who reported not having enough food or not knowing where their next meal would come from. This number includes 13 million children who went through their day with empty or close to empty bellies. Zooming in a bit, there are almost 1.2 million Michiganders who reported some level of food insecurity. To put this into perspective, starting with yourself, and for those joining us online, just kind of envision it. Count 8 people down your row. Now look at that 9th person. Representatively, they would be the one experiencing hunger in the group. We have failed to uphold food as a basic human right. Instead, nourishment has become about worthiness and self-determinism. It is time that we weave the jangling discords of our nation's ideology regarding food access into the beautiful symphony of a fed nation. Dr. King showed us that there are many tools for social justice advances. From hunger strikes to sit-ins, he showed us that acts of resistance makes waves. But there's nothing more impactful than the unifying effect of music. Through music, we've been able to express joy, pain, determination. I think of James Brown's 1968 hit, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, where he conveys the truths of being Black in America while being unapologetically proud of who he is and stating he won't stop fighting until he gets what he deserves. Now, I don't stand before you today with the demo of the next social change hit, but I do hope you'll allow me to serve as a semi-composer to walk us through how we can change the chaotic noise about hunger into a beautiful rhythm. Now, when I think about this rhythm, this is what comes to mind. As you heard, there was a good tempo, a good balance between background and main vocals, and there was clarity of lyrics. But this isn't what comes to mind when I think about what we currently sound like. If I were being honest, this is what I get. Yeah, it's quite awful. By the end of my time before you this evening, I hope I can convince you that the chaotic noise that you heard before has the potential to sound like a beautiful rhythm. So, where do we begin? Well, first, we all need to be singing the same song. As we heard, when more than one song is playing at a time, again, it sounds like chaos and it's hard to focus. The same can be said when we're not unified in the song we sing about hunger. We get lost in mixed messaging and it dissuades people from wanting to engage. If we were to all sing the same song about hunger, it first and foremost needs to state that food is a basic human right, and thus we must prioritize meeting food needs. Now, I want to pause here and ask you a question. How many of you have volunteered or donated food to a food bank or food pantry? And for those of you online, feel free to jot it in the chat. This warms my heart. And how many of you have done those things outside of the holiday season? I am very proud. Unfortunately, that's not common across the country. Usually there's a lull in action to address hunger outside of the holidays. But what we must realize is that those who are hungry on December 25th are still hungry on December 26th. We have to realize that we have to be persistent in the song we sing about addressing hunger. Until the question of where someone's next meal will come from is a thing of the past, we have to keep saying we need to address hunger. So to recap, we're now all singing the same song, and we're singing the same song at the same time. But there's one more thing we need to do before we can hit record. Now, I can admit I am vocally challenged, and although I wish I could sing like Beyoncé, I cannot sing like, nor do I sound like Beyoncé. So how foolish would it be for me to take lead vocals from the legend herself? The same could be said about who takes the lead vocals when talking about hunger. Historically, our approaches to address hunger have been prescriptive, excluding the voices of those who have had food hardships. If we were to pass the mic, both figuratively and literally, to those with lived experiences, I am confident that we would be able to reach much more sustainable approaches to addressing it. We know that we need food to survive, and it has been shown that we need consistent access to food to thrive. But our country's current discord regarding food access means that so many of us are just one job loss, one missed paycheck, one medical emergency away from experiencing hunger ourselves. Now, as your food security composer, I hope I have showed you how certain changes could get us to this beautiful rhythm. I also hope that I've excited something in you to want to take action. Whether you're all in or you're just curious about how you can help move things forward, I want to leave you with 3 things that could make a world of difference. The first is to vote. Hunger is a systemic issue, and thus we must work at the level in which the system is being upheld. We need to make sure that those representing us in Washington are truly speaking about our needs. We need to make sure that they are saying hunger is an issue and we must address it and try to find a solution to it. The next is to stay informed. I'm not sure how many of you knew, but the Farm Bill, a large piece of legislation that has guided our nation's agricultural and food business since the 1930s, is up for reauthorization, and it's not looking good. Among other problematic provisions, it is being proposed that food assistance programs like food stamps and WIC receive a reduction in their funding. It's also being proposed that additional work requirements be added for those to qualify for such benefits. If passed, this would add to the already millions experiencing hunger. And yes, charitable food organizations are meeting huge needs, but they alone are not able to close the meal gap. We must ensure that federal assistance programs such as food stamps and WIC remain available and that they don't go underfunded. The third thing is to be vocal. I fail to accept that hunger is an unknown issue. Instead, I believe it's about the volume for the call for action. Whether you're on social media or you're a featured speaker, we all have an opportunity to say something about hunger. The Food Research and Action Center, Feeding America, and No Kid Hungry have a vast library of resources that you can utilize to craft your message. They also have linkages to local networks that are currently organizing to meet the food needs of your neighbors right now. Speaking of neighbors, at the beginning of my talk, I gave some frightening numbers about hunger in Michigan. But when we vote, when we stay informed, when we talk about hunger and become vocal, we again are acknowledging that food is a basic human right. And until that is the reality for our neighbors, we won't stop fighting for change. Hunger is a pressing but solvable problem. And it is my belief that when we sing the same song at the same time, with everyone singing their appropriate parts, we have the opportunity to create a masterpiece. And that is the rhythm of change. Thank you.
You know to bring some love